Do you want to check Twitch to make sure it's well live? Hi guys, welcome back to
No,
the
I
Insider
know.
Outsider podcast. Here with your host Ahmed, and you can probably tell Ahmed's looking like a supermodel today. Like, goddamn, buddy. I looked at him, I'm like, yo, man, Calvin Klein better like step up real quick.
I've been watching Clavicular, doing some face smashing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say too. He's all a part of that. Pa pa pa. But you gotta grab with the hammer. You know, you gotta get a hammer. Pa pa pa. That's the only
We have
way
our hands.
to equal props in society. And guys, before we start, I do want to just say one quick thank you again. And I know that the beginning of the year is already gone. I'm not a New Year's resolutionary type of fella, but I'll tell you something. All right, dreams big. All right. I have made on this YouTube channel almost 200 videos. That's a lot. And that's especially a lot when you got to understand that, hey, we don't have a lot of followers, right? And we have less than one follower for one view that I've posted. But that is completely fine because the idea of putting this on the internet is to make a remembrance, right? And the ideas that me and Ahmed we think about in time frames of 5 to 25 years. And we're going to be utilizing all these videos that we made now to progress and to showcase that we are the people who we say we are, not the people who we do. I have a poster over here, a very, very good poster. I can't remember exactly where the hell it even is.
Is
Where
it
is
like
it?
a Mr. Dyson?
Not the Mr.
Mr.
Dyson one.
Dyson?
I was gonna talk about that one right after. But
I think
uh,
it applies though. Oh, you definitely, yeah, I see.
oh,
But I'll go over this one, or just remember what the quote says
the Dyson one.
before the one before it, because you want to mention that.
Okay, yeah. Though pretty much, I see it now. It's Alex Hormozy quote, and he says, "A sign of maturity is the ability to stay true to your word." And that is all I'm trying to say. Is I want to be known as somebody who did not falter from what he stood for, but somebody who did what he did, and that's the best way, in my opinion, that you can see things. But yeah, that is definitely a goal of mine.
When I hear that, when I hear that, I think the most important opinion when it comes to like uh, the maturity and the context that Alex Ramosi that you just brought up, his quote is your own opinion of yourself. And
Yeah.
if you fail yourself on your own goals, if you fail yourself on the quest that you go on, you start to lose your reputation between you and yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that can reflect as like low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
what you want to do
yes, sir.
is absolutely make that most important opinion is your own self opinion. Make that opinion of yourself the most bulletproof as possible
Mm-hmm.
because it'll show up everywhere.
No, and and I completely
Like
agree.
that.
You
I
know,
really like that. You were great. That was a great Alex Ramosi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people know about this, right? Because it's a thing that has been said many times, but I think that not a lot of people put emphasis on. The reason why I think it's emphasis is you can lie to yourself. I can lie to Ahmed. I can lie to the viewer. You cannot lie to yourself. And
Exactly.
the truth is this: you can lie to yourself, and you can pretend that something's exists and not, right? That's kind of what optimism is. But lying to yourself on something that you know is false is just destroying your own relationship with yourself. Yourself is your best friend. And yourself is your biggest enemy, right? And so if an enemy that hears everything you're gonna do is a very, very formidable enemy, and that enemy is yourself. So if you're gonna say
You
you're gonna do
know,
something, you should really work towards doing it, even if you haven't done that in the past. Because remember, this is a one-time go. If you Nobody was born the person that they want to be. The person you want to be is through developing yourself. And so it is okay that I used to lie. I used to steal. That was myself as well, right? I used to consider myself very stupid. I used to consider the educated very, very idiotic. I used to consider that everybody else will save the world. I don't need to do anything. And then when I decided to finally put that on me and why I'm having those feelings, it was more so a key of what I was doing and not something that anybody else is doing. But yeah, I do just want to say, you guys, I do really appreciate everybody who is watching this video, watching the channel, because I guarantee you by the end of this year, man, Ahmed, we're going to have a lot more viewership than we're going to have now. And we're going to be even better and better and better.
I'm really not concerned with. Um, I mean, obviously, the whole point of this podcast is to create a community, a larger community, a lot of subscribers, a lot of viewers.
Excuse me.
But I'm not really so focused on that result.
Mm-hmm.
That is a just it when you know how you win the, let's say, the UFC belt, you get a check. The check is to compliment achieving something great. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
think that people need to understand this, and the reason that I feel like the Dyson quote, the Miss Dyson, if you could just give a breakdown
All
of the
right.
Dyson quote.
So, pretty much, there's a bunch of quotes on Dyson. One of my favorite ones is Prototype 1 failed, Prototype 50 failed, Prototype 1000 failed. He wrote down every mistake, every modification, every failure. 5,126 prototypes later, finally the Dyson vacuum was made.
So what that embodies for me when Rav showed me, he has it on his wall, and it gets him motivated, and I feel like I also love quotes, and I love to be motivated all the time. But what I could summarize here is you have to fall in love with the recursive process of coming back and modifying. And there's another quote I could just bring up right now, is the man that likes to walk will walk further than the man that wants to get to the destination. You'll
Mm-hmm.
not only get to your destination if you enjoy the process of recursive change and exponential compounding of ideas and stuff. You'll get further than someone who just puts a goal. Like, I want 3 million subscribers. That's a goal, right? If you focus on that, it seems daunting and seems difficult to get to. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're obsessed with the recursive process, continually bettering yourself, you're unbeatable. You
100%.
will not be because
And one
you're
thing,
locked in at that.
yeah, one thing you wanted me to talk about a lot is especially how to better up the podcast, how to get it even better. And the quote for Dyson, and the reason why Dyson is a hero of mine, and there's so many heroes of mine, but that's exactly how I like it. Is the reason why so is I've recently experienced my relatively first failure. Now, actually, this failure I don't think is going to be a failure. I think I actually turned it around. I got fortunate enough where I was able to turn it around, and actually it might end up actually working in my favor. But I was very close, and I'll tell you something. I got very fortunate of how I've been able to live my life, and I got very fortunate with a lot of things. So when I was getting hit with this big first failure, and I'll tell you, the failure is almost $60,000. And so, although that is a lot of money. All right, there's no way to put it around it. There's a lot of money, and 60,000. I think
Mhm.
about, oh my god, I could have just done nothing and lived with my current state of existence for like a whole year with 60 grand. Man, losing 60 grand is not a fun game. And
Time, money,
but
money.
exactly, but the thing is, what's more important from the 60 grand is the lessons I learned along the way, right? And so, just like how Dyson, he's gonna be putting up his prototypes and saying this. I felt very demotivated for like almost a day because of this experience. I was like, oh, there's no way out of this. Like I told you, I think I figured out a way out of it, and so I'm actually very fortunate, very very motivated for the future. But like I said, that motivation is gonna stay no matter what. So that one day that I took off, I was very upset with myself because I was like, man, I did not need to. Because who cares if this fails? Because this is not what I want my legacy to be. My legacy is supposed to be developed 30 years from now, not based on this one deal that did not go through as of today. And so, yeah, that's why the reason why I put on it. It just goes to show you guys that nobody knows what the hell's gonna happen. You just really just have to keep going through it and grind it out. And yeah, I think Ahmed can also relate to it. But this is the beauty of history, right? It's the people who you look at who have accomplished a lot. Not a lot of them have come from something amazing. And so when you look at this and you're like, man, somebody who did not have an ounce, like Ahmed, if I show you 20 kids, okay? Obviously, 20 kids, all of them are going to be jumping around. Most of them, hopefully, are going to be happy. They're going to be happy. They're going to be very happy. Which kid's going to be a success? You can do the marshmallow test. I'm not sure if you heard that. Sorry, I know I'm glitching a little bit today. You can do the marshmallow test. You can do this test or
Not
that
in
test.
clear.
Yeah, but you can do
Mhm.
anything you want. But at the truth being told, you're not going to know which kid's going to turn out to be successful and which kid's not. It's just not going to happen because you just cannot guide somebody to success. It's literally something that luck has a huge point in this. Preparation is a huge point in this. The willingness and the risk avertedness that somebody truly has a point in this. And so the goal is to, guys, just keep doing it over and over again until you reach success. But let's enough with the optimism for now. I want to get into some actual news today. Yeah, because we've done a
Yeah,
couple of
let's
optimism pods, which
let's
are my favorite,
let's
by the way. I just don't think the viewer is gonna be like, oh man, he's gotta talk about optimism again. But if you're like that, don't even view the video because we're only optimistic on this channel. All right. So firstly, Amin, I'll take my money, buddy. All right. I need to become like what's that betting platform like online that people are using right now?
Polymarket.
Polymarket. I need to become a polymarket trader, okay? Because guys, I'm winning these deals, all right? China Canada trade deal, all right? These guys went over to fucking where's that other place? The Middle East, Kuwait, and then they also made a deal over there as well. Or was it Qatar? Qatar. I sorry, I can't remember exactly where the second one was.
Let me get the exact.
Yeah, can you tell
I've
me
heard of this
which?
rumor.
Yeah, I forgot. I know the deal that happened, but I just forgot which country it was. But yeah, you would probably assume that your boy Rav's more prepared than this. But like I told you guys, we have no script. We just talk direct into the camera and hope we don't say something dumb. But guys, so China and Canada's deal went fantastic. 50,000 EV cars will be bringing over to Canada.
Qatar.
Qatar, sorry, yes,
It's just-
exactly.
it's
Oh,
in
not
Qatar. Yeah,
Kuwait.
Qatar.
Yeah, when I was like Kuwait, I'm like that doesn't sound right. I don't think we got any deals over there. But So between Qatar and Canada, there's a pretty much now there is the same moment kind of that like there is a path forward now to equal free trade or better trade for our two countries. The same thing deal is happening over there in China. So now China will most likely be buying all of these same all the same farming equipment as before, like the soybeans and all that stuff that was being produced to China. Now EV cars will also enter the Canadian markets, and I'm wondering, is this going to reverse the ban on the Huawei system? Because remember, Huawei was actually the initial company in Canada, yes, in Canada, who was building the 5G network. None of our actual companies were investing into infrastructure. They were all 5G bandwagon systems, and so Huawei clearly is a dominant force. And I'm gonna give a very unpopular opinion, okay, Ahmed?
Reb, we had some technical difficulties there. You're still cutting out. You're frozen for.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
We just need you to go over that one more time.
Okay.
Talking about 5G bandwagon
Okay, I've
systems.
disconnected. 1 second. Let me reconnect to everything because I think something's wrong from my side.